Chris, welcome back.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Second time.
Second time, yeah. First time, I just launched this little baby of mine. So
Yeah,
we said we would come back a second time. So here we are.
absolutely. And I learned when you do the cheers, you drink.
That's right.
Cheers. Drinking my favorite watermelon.
I don't have a favorite. I just drink them all.
Yeah, you can't pick between the babies.
Right. That's exactly right.
So last time we were talking, we came up with the news that you dropped on us for the variety pack.
Variety Pack was the news. Variety Pack came out, and right now it's outselling the single flavors by 4 or 5 to 1.
Really?
I would say some stores have actually gone from the single flavors and just said, you know
Pretty
what,
much
this is
just
what people
variety.
buy. I mean, they want all 4 flavors. Nobody really ends up with a favorite because all their friends like one or the other flavors in their fridge, and they just buy the variety pack. It was the best thing, and in hindsight, I should have started with the variety pack and then done the single flavors, but you know, hindsight's 2020, so it's here now.
Well, it is here now. Exactly. Like what matters is here.
Right.
And the packaging is pretty cool. I do like it. It's a good success in my world too. Lots of people come for that, and especially because it's a steal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the box is going to slightly change. We've got a few small alterations and changes just based on how shops and stores put it on the shelf. Right. So some obviously have it, you know, front facing, but others have actually put it up on its side, showing essentially the top of the box.
Yeah.
So, and it was the shop owners that said, can you, so that we can save on space, right? The space is a premium in a liquor store, so that it actually says your name as well on the top. So we've made these small alterations to look after the store owners that are looking after me. So
I love that. So you're the owner of it. You are the person who goes for the tasting.
yes,
You are the person who is basically in charge of everything as far as the legislation, as far as like the sales, as far as the like everything.
sure.
How big is this team?
You're looking at it. It's a one of one. I mean, so let me slightly expand it. It's myself. It's a lawyer, right? You have to have a lawyer. You can't. I would tell everybody to just have one that you trust, right? So there's a lawyer. There's obviously my co-packing team. I'm not a part of their business. They're not a part of mine, but they are still a part of making Mate a success because they are the ones that need to follow the formula, put it in the can, make sure everything's right. And then I would say also a distributor.
Okay.
So a lot of Americans, or a lot of people in general, I'm not going to single out Americans, don't realize that it's on a 3-tiered system. You've got me, you've got the distributor, that's the middle guy, and then you've got the store owners, and it has to go through that middle person. So if they're not delivering, store owners aren't getting product, and I'm not going to be a success either.
But as far as a company, Mate Beverages company,
you're looking at it.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Kudos to you.
I'm excited to bring somebody on it in the near future.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
No. Whoever you bring on, it's going to join a winning team. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the expansion, because that's another thing that throughout the last 2 years I've been following you, and I see the expansion going from one place to completely totally different place.
Yeah. So expansion has, I mean, obviously it's key, right? You need more people to find you, more people to taste you, more people to buy you, that sort of thing. My mindset initially on expanding has probably slightly altered. It's slightly changed. I was of the thought process of just as many states as possible, right? But I think that sort of spreads you a little bit too thin. So right now we're serving in Georgia, Florida, New Jersey, North Carolina, Iowa, and New York is doing the bits and pieces. We're also licensed, but not distributing in California, Texas, DC, and Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
We also do work in the Carolinas, but it's for special orders only. The reason I've become licensed and in those different states is to be able to do online sales. That's the biggest question, the biggest EM, the biggest request, the biggest everything I get from people is, can I buy it online? And America, it has some weird liquor laws with posting and shipping alcohol. Some states like it, some states don't. So you have to be in these different states around to be able to get your product to it. Some people, it's weird when you look on other people's sites, can ship through these states and whatever else, but that's the legality of it. So that's why we're in those states licensed, not in those states distributing just yet. So I really want to focus on definitely Florida, Georgia, obviously, and probably New York, New Jersey, and Iowa. I really want to concentrate. We've broken that 100 case a month threshold now, which is a really difficult threshold to break. When you're talking about sales, it's a tough one, but we've broken it. And now I want to get those states to 500 cases a month before we start spreading ourselves across. Now, if a big box retailer turns around to me and says, hey, we're in these 6 states and we're going to put you in 2,500 locations. Yes, right? We will immediately expand with them. But, for now, we're going to really focus our efforts on the states we're in, focus on online sales and go from there.
And then when you say about 500 cases, do you usually give yourself a timeline?
Definitely give myself a timeline. So we are heading into our summer, right? We're in our summer right now, June, July, August. That 500 cases, though, as an example, Texas, I had a meeting earlier this week with a distributor. They reached out to me. They want to bring me on, right? Rather than me sort of asking
Chasing
them to.
them.
We got another meeting with them tomorrow. And Texas is hot 9 months of the year, right? It's not like Georgia where you get, 4 or 5 and then it's cold for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Florida and Texas, you've got an extended selling period of time. So utilizing those states to help with the increased expansion to that sort of 500 case level. I would say by the end of the year, that's where we're really pushing, for sure.
And that's a good one. Yeah.
That gives us a good runway, gives us 7-ish months, 6-7 months, and gives you that next goal to sort of shoot for as well.
And I think you slightly mentioned about distributors.
Yeah.
That alone is a whole different game.
That alone is a whole new ball game.
Because you got some distributors that will help you to get to your goal in like no time. And then you have some distributors that will completely throw you off of your path to get to your goal, basically, by the challenges they put in front of you and all of that crap.
Yeah, and I think I'm still in the world of Beverage, a small new brand. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not Kylie Jenner. I'm not.
Talk about that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. We can talk about that. I'm not Kylie Jenner. I don't have that base yet. Doesn't mean I won't grow to that level of a company. I'm not High Noon. I'm not Dave Portnoy or anything like that. But they all started somewhere. So for a distributor, they're trying to find the sure thing. And now, we're talking to multiple distributors here in Georgia, one in Florida, one in Texas. It now means that these people have seen sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've seen repeat. They've been told by store owners, hey, you should talk to this guy. Customers have said, one of the distributors, when I sat down with them last week before, they went, I went to a friend's place and it was in his fridge. That tells me everything I need to know. I definitely should be talking to you right now. So when they start to have the belief in you as well, that you're a sure thing. My investment isn't going to go to waste. My money, I'm not going to lose anything. It's not going to sit in my warehouse. That changes everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because the reps are going to be excited about it, upper management's excited, and they really push their allocated spaces on the shelf. They're going to prioritize me, which again is an awesome feeling.
Yeah. And I feel like you are in such a place right now that usually people, distributors or retailers, they give like 2 years timeline to the new brands to see if they're going to be around or not after 2 years. And knock on wood, standing right here, strong as always, and keep moving forward. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. There in this industry there are no consolation prizes, right? There's no second place medal. Either you sell or you don't. If you don't, you're dropped. And I don't blame them, right? It's still a business. So yeah, it's exciting getting out of the distributor I'm in. I'll always be forever grateful for them for starting with me, for giving me the opportunity. But our relationship has come to its natural end. Time to move on.
Expanding.
Right.
Speaking of that, I feel like I was thinking about the competitors for you, and I feel like you don't have a competitors. People try to compete with you, or like basically compare you to other brands, but there's nothing like that, and that makes it a little bit, I feel like, hard, because now you have to build the market.
Right.
There's what's the other brand that has a protein in their vodka water.
Yeah, so it's a catch-22, right? In the industry it's called the white space. I found the white space because there's nobody else. But on the other side, nobody's ever heard of me before. So they've never heard the words vodka, protein, water. And everybody gets that broken what? Hey, what? Hang on a second. Once they learn about it, once they taste it, once they understand what they're doing with it, or what we're doing with it, should I say, they're all about it. Right? We sell out stores on the regular. Yesterday is a perfect example. We sold out the peach, the pineapple, the watermelon, and the variety pack. And there was a couple of lime and mints. It's a bit hard to sell a product when you've only got one of the flavors.
Yeah.
So they'll do a restock, and being different when people are looking for something new also helps as well. There's plenty of still vodka waters out there. Mum Water's the most famous and successful. Happy Thursday, I think, from another brand, and there's a couple more out there as well. But like you said, there's nobody else with protein.
Yeah.
Right. That's my white space.
That's catch. Yeah. No. And you guys are doing really good. I say you guys, but I mean you.
Yeah, it's the royal we. It's definitely yeah. I like to say the people in the stores help me too, right? Because they recommend.
Yeah.
They go, hey, you should try this. Just give it a shot. And if somebody's spending their hard-earned money and whoever's in the store is recommending it, they're part of mate too, for sure.
There you go. And that's the key though. Like, I mean, you gotta do some like tasting parties at the stores to bring people in.
Yeah.
And see how their reaction is. I remember I was talking to somebody, and I was talking about your product to her, and she was like, yeah, I went to one of the stores last year and he was doing a sampling and I grabbed it. So I know it. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, it's I'm getting that more and more, which is nice, right? People around town, you're the mate guy. I am totally fine with being called that. Yes, I'm the mate guy. I'm the koala. I'm the mate. I'm the guy. Yes. Yeah. Happy to be recognized.
That's good.
For sure.
That's good. All right. A few months ago, you went on a run for raising capital.
Sure.
How fun was that?
Not fun at all.
Let's talk about that.
So,
how is it like raising capital as an entrepreneur or someone who is building a brand?
I would say it's very confronting. You need to understand when you create something and it can be anything, when you're putting yourself out there to the expectation of others, you can get concerned that when you don't see that money coming in initially, your ego struggles with what's going on. Full disclosure, the company that we decided to use, it didn't work out in the end, which is fine. Everything happens for a reason. In fact, the capital that we raised privately outside of Start Engine is more than what we would have kept with Start Engine, because they needed fees and percentage, and there's restrictions and whatever else. So it worked out for us. But it is definitely, it's definitely confronting. On the other side of it, those people that do give you money, it's amazing. Right? Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for seeing my vision and seeing the future and the pathway. And, in this time that we're in, not just America, let's talk the world,
right?
My home, your home, wherever. People are more concerned than ever of making sure they have that nest egg, right? Of having that safety net. And so those that did invest, it's an amazing feeling. And on those dark days, right? And I had one recently where nothing seemed to be going right. On those dark days, you sit there and you remind yourself, hey, there are people out there that believe in you.
Of course.
So is it fun? No, not at all. Is everybody trying to do it? Yes. But you need to build something as well before other people will believe in it. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years in the marketplace. Right? November will be 2 years. It's not an overnight success. Doesn't happen immediately. But the fundraising component is a necessary evil. And I'm very confident that on the other side, those that do invest, I've got more conversations coming up in a couple of weeks for some bigger investments, that I will be, a couple of years down the track, handing over a nice big check, popping some champagne, saying thanks for believing in me. I'll call you when I come up with my next thing if you're interested. That's the
goal.
That's the goal.
Awesome. So what are some of the challenges that you went through it personally during this fundraising, and you want to learn from it for the next round?
I would invest a lot more in the marketing side of things, right? So really more people see it, know it. Really invest in some good visuals, video, even more projections, financials. And then sort of make sure that, because people say they want to, but then never get around to doing.
Right.
So not being afraid to follow back up, and to the point where it's probably annoying. Really. But if they want to, don't be afraid of those tough conversations. You've got to get in there. So I would also, at all the tables that I do, right? This one I would probably do. I would remind people. I would have a sheet out if you want more information. And then I think the really big one, I've got a friend of mine who's currently fundraising. He's building a multi-million-dollar resort out in Baja, New Mexico. It's going to be gorgeous, right? They're going to try and take on Cancun. They're about to do their crowd fundraising component. They've done a fair bit already. But I suggested to him, because I had the idea very late in my fundraising, of if anybody does fundraise, give them something to post online. Hey, I've decided to invest, because people bring people. Oh, well, he clearly, or she clearly trusts this company and this person, so maybe I should have another look at it, right? And then I would also up the ante on not just bonus shares, but other things around it. So, for example, this guy who's doing the Baja fundraise, if you invest a certain amount, you get a bottle of tequila that they're going to be aging on the bottom of the ocean floor. You can get a bar stool that's yours. It's got a name on it. When you go there, you get a free night, you get a tequila event, you get a private chef, you get all these things based on the amount that you invest. And they've been really conscious of what would be very cool. They're getting personal knives made for people from a knife maker. They're getting personal tequila bottles made. They're getting all these things if you invest money. So it's very cool in the thought process they've had of what can I give people outside of being able to stay at the resort to be able to have in a room like this, right? They can have a cool sword that says "Sip with Sep," invested in the resort, and it's got a cool story behind it as well.
That's
So
a
I
good
would
idea.
I would definitely look at the outside bits and
Yeah,
pieces that people could get for their investment as well.
that's pretty cool. All right, sounds good. It's definitely difficult to go through all of that, and people outside they look at it, they think, oh, okay, it's easy to run a business, easy to build a brand. Everybody is like doing it right these days now. So how difficult or easy is to build a brand for you, especially um,
Something brand new.
drink, especially in the beverage industry?
It's a very concentrated space. So I think you need to have a clear vision of who you are, not just as the owner, but as the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm very lucky. I leaned into who I am. Right? I just thought, if I'm going to sell something, I may as well sell me. So I'm the mate, I'm the koala. I get asked at tastings, is the accent real? Probably every time I do a table.
Really?
So yes, the accent's real. It's not made up for the company. It's real. But people are there's a lot of brand loyalty. Going back to Dave Portnoy, he was part of the High Noon
Mm-hmm.
and still is, created Miss Peaches. People are buying the Miss Peaches drink because it's for him and his dog. And it's very difficult to change people's drinking habits when they've been drinking it forever. My wife is a good example. She's a Miller Lite and a Tito's girl.
Yeah,
And getting her to change from those two is very difficult.
exactly.
So it's not like wine where wine drinkers are very open to drinking multiple different labels, multiple different vineyards. When you're in the RTD space, everybody goes, well, I drink X because of a price point maybe, or I drink the Miss Peaches drink because I love the dog, or I drink Jack Daniels because I'm a Jack Daniels guy. So there's a lot of brand loyalty and consistency, and pulling people away from that means you need to have something pretty compelling
Mm-hmm.
to pull them away from it.
Which is not just a taste anymore. Before it was only a taste. Now, like you mentioned, Tito's had a customer. She was telling me, "Well, I want Tito's because the money that they donate to the dogs and stuff like that,
Right.
for the animal rescue, it's not the taste anymore."
No.
So how is that affecting?
So there's a side of it of corporate responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would love to be able to give money away. I can't, because otherwise the business doesn't stay alive, right? So you sort of, again, it's that weird catch-22. I am instead so for example, on Monday, we did a sip and sweat where I aligned with a hotel brand, a yoga brand, and Lululemon.
Mm-hmm.
They do a yoga class. They then get a can of my drink at the end. The sheer amount of people going, I had this last year, I have to get another can. Or can I grab another one for my girlfriend? Or they taste it and go, do you have any spares? I need to show my X, Y, and Z this. And I learned very quickly that we are going to be very much the fitness drink.
Okay.
I'm not saying we're healthy, just so we're clear. We are still an alcoholic drink. But Michelob Ultra, for example, is that beer of wellness, beer of fitness, beer of that sort of thing. So once I decided on that was going to be where we're really going to focus, it's been very easy because people now align you with that moniker of, yeah, I just ran a marathon. I've earned this and it's got protein. I'm playing pickleball. Well, I want to drink, but why would I drink something that doesn't have protein? I'm playing golf. Well, this is uncarbonated, so I'm not going to burp in my backswing. Right? So now we're starting to really get aligned with the sports side of things. And I think you'll see in the next 12, 18, 24 months, we will start looking at doing some larger sports events. I mean, we declined it. It was a very short notice. They didn't give us much time to make a decision and get everything organized. But swimsuit week in Miami, yeah, that'd be perfect for us.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody's in shape, they're in bikinis, it's all the things you want. And they want something uncarbonated, so they're not bloated in a two-piece. They've got the protein. It's super tasty. It's all these things that they want as well. So I think you'll start seeing in the next 18 to 24 months, our brand will really be cemented as that alcoholic drink of fitness. And I'm more than happy to go after Michelob Ultra. I think it's going to be fun.
So by next episode, we're going to see some exciting stuff.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Love it. Love it. So as you noticed, this episode, I'm a little bit getting more into the business side.
Sure.
Just because of I see people around that are trying to build their own business and everything. And I also noticed that you're coming up with a new page that you are like basically sharing your thoughts about like building a brand.
Yeah.
And I love that about you, Chris. I think like you're doing a great job with not only learning yourself, but whatever you learn, you share it. You have no problem with sharing it. You don't want to hide it. You don't go for a secret or any of that. So kudos to you. So with that being said, how do you manage the business, your personal life, your marriage, and all of that? It's a loaded question. I turn it to you.
How do I manage it all? So work-life balance is a myth. Let me just put that.
I don't think so. I don't think it's a real thing.
To me, it's a complete myth.
Yes.
Right. Now, I'm lucky I came from hospitality. I have only ever worked 60 plus hours a week.
Only.
Or more. So for me, it's a lot of people would sit in front of the television from 9 p.m. onwards. Well, you can do that, but sit there with the laptop on your legs, making sure that you're following up. Yes, my wife absolutely needs to be focused on as well. Absolutely. But being very clear in our communication together, hey, I am not free right now. And having a joint calendar where she sees all the events that I'm going to.
Okay.
So I will openly say, hey, I'll be home Friday night. This Friday coming up, I've got a tasting. Where am I at? Seven Hills in Paulding County. It's close to home, right? So I'm finishing at 7, which means I'll be home by 7:20, 7:30 maybe. Hey, at 7:30, I'll be home. Let's go and do something together. So that gives her the opportunity to go, I should be done with work, any workouts, anything I need to do, so that from 7:30, we're going to go out, we're going to have a drink, we're going to have dinner, we're going to catch up, we're going to do all the things, right? So it's definitely a big portion of it is living by the calendar. For me, the business comes first, period. Openly to everybody here, I was late today, right? We were supposed to start at 2. I texted you at 1:45. Hey, got stuck working. Okay. So you need to make sure that you run by that calendar, you're very communicative with people, and you don't sit on your phone. That's the other thing. Don't doom scroll. Don't all those outside influences that are around you. You have to make sure that you're there. Also, when it comes to tables, maximize your time.
Mm-hmm.
So on Saturday, as a good example, I have a table from 11 till 2. I will then be doing a table from 3 to 6. I have an hour in the middle to travel and to quickly eat something in the car, pack some food so you don't need to stop. You're still in a good mood because you've eaten, you're not hangry. It's about being one step ahead. So I am very focused on making this a success. There was a brand recently, I'm not going to name it, but they were an Atlanta started brand. They're in a lot of states. They were just given a $50 million offer. 50 million. Right? If I get to a 50 million valuation and offer, yeah, that's some serious thinking time on whether or not I'm going to sell. But will that 50 million be worth all the pain and headaches and time now? You bet. Yes, you bet. And that's why you need the long view as well. You need to look, you don't need to look, well, I'm missing out on going to the beach this year. How about you look 10 years down the track and you're on a super yacht watching the F1 cars in Monaco? Would you prefer to go to Destin, Florida this weekend, or would you prefer to do that in a few years' time? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. You got to have some sacrifices.
Yeah, of course. I have to sacrifice something. And there was a comment recently or a quote on Instagram, and my sister posted it on her story. And it said something along the lines of, isn't it a privilege to be tired chasing the dream that you've chosen?
I like it.
Yeah, I'm tired all the time. That's what caffeine's for. Right? So, but I've chosen this. So I don't have to, I get to. I don't have to be here today. I get to be here today. I don't have to go home and work. I get to go home and work.
Right.
So it when you start changing those mind shifts,
Yeah.
it makes it easy. Makes it easy. It's not perfect every day. I'm not excited about it every day. When my alarm goes off I did a fly in, fly out to Minneapolis on Tuesday. Did I enjoy getting up at 4 in the morning to catch that first flight out? No, not at all. But was it worth it? Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mate, I was living that life for 3 weeks. Like living based off like 3 to 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
But it worth every single minute of it. I'm still catching up on the hours of sleep, but oof, it was brutal. It was brutal in a good way though.
Yeah, it's brutal in a good way. You like it.
Oh, I loved it. I'll do it again.
And when you're engaged, when you're focused, when you're working towards you and your goals and your future, you don't really notice it.
Right.
I woke up at 4 a.m. and just went, oh, I'm up. Oh, yeah, I've got to get moving. Have a quick shower, eat something, get in the car, get on the plane, do all these bits and pieces. You don't think about, ugh.
It's actually when you don't have anything to do, you're so tired. Even though if you have I don't know, like 8 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep, you feel still tired because you have nothing to do. But when you're so packed and you wake up at 5 a.m., you get back to your hotel or your home by 11 p.m. and next morning you got to be up at 4 a.m. and throughout the day you still have so much energy to go, so excited for what's coming next.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's you couldn't have said it better. I mean, when you have something that you're working towards, a commitment, a drive, a focus, it makes it so easy to get up out of bed and get moving, for sure.
For those that are sitting at home and talking about depression, get your ass to work.
Yeah.
Go work.
Yeah. Find something to do.
Yeah.
Find something that you love and chase after it, and you will discover very quickly that depression is going to disappear.
Of course. Yeah. No, that's legit, man. All right. So this is a fun part that I'm gonna ask you
Sure.
to share. If you want to look at the camera for the next minute,
Which
your
one?
camera,
This one in the middle?
yeah, or this
Oh,
one,
here.
yeah.
My one here. Okay.
And I'm a one-man team too. Okay.
That's right. He is a one-man team, so he's doing his thing. But we got
Yeah.
multiple cameras, so I'll look at mine.
So if you want to take a look at your camera for the next 1 minute and talk to yourself that is looking at this in the 5 years, what would you say?
Oh, that's a good one. All right, so I'm 40 now, just turned 40. So in 5 years, I'm going to be 45. By this point, at 45, I know you're going to be spending more time in Australia. You're definitely going to be there. At least 6 months, 6 months. I hope you've bought your dream car, because the money you spend on it is going to be worth the feelings and the happiness you get from driving it, for sure. I have no doubt that you've probably moved and you're supporting your wife through a promotion of some description. That's almost guaranteed. And I want you to make sure and remember that all the sacrifice was worth it. No matter what you went through, how hard it was, funding round issues, consistency issues, distributor issues, co-packing issues, any issues, it's all worth it. We should have popped out the other side. So make sure you buy the car. Don't go on too many holidays. And I hope you've collaborated, sponsored, and been a part of things bigger than you. That's what I would say. And if you can buy some Bitcoin, I know it's at 100 grand, but probably buy some now just in case. I hope you bought some while I was now. I need to look at that a little harder. Hopefully that Bitcoin's gone up.
Love it. What's your dream car?
I have a couple. Honda NSX.
Okay.
I love it. Porsche GT3 RS. I do love the classic American muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a 67 Mustang. I do love a Corvette. I wouldn't say I have a dream car. I would say I have multiple dream cars. But if I had the money today, let's say call it 300 grand
the one for the next 5 years.
It should be the Porsche. Definitely a Porsche. Convertible or Targa top, some description. Manual transmission. Got to be a 3-pedal. And it's got to be a fuck you color. Like lime green or burnt orange or something.
Love it.
Yeah, that would be the dream car.
Love it. It's such a great feeling when you hit those goals, and then you reward yourself with those stuff. It's such a fucking amazing feeling.
And that's why I'm telling myself in 5 years' time, I hope you did go and buy that car. Because I've driven these supercars before and they are amazing. They're worth it. They feel so good. So I hope at the time when I have the money that I just pull the trigger. Enjoy it. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the hard work.
Absolutely.
Celebrate all the hard times by jumping in that car, having, it's that 6-year-old in you. Right? It's that 6-year-old that says, oh, look at that. And you just mash your foot to the ground and take off, and it makes all the noise and it, whatever else. So yeah, yeah.
I'm such a believer on like awarding yourself for those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went to the tour, and then while I was out, I got myself a bunch of rewards.
Good.
And I'm going to only give it to myself when I achieve those steps. Even if it's small, who cares?
Sure.
As long as you give to yourself, you get that dopamine feeling from it.
Well, if you don't celebrate yourself, who is? You may as well do it yourself.
Absolutely. No, this year has been freaking amazing so far. So
Good. Well, you got 6 more months to
the
make it
first
even
6
better.
months been good. Looking forward to the second one, and then we'll see how great it can be.
And then on to 2026.
World Cup is coming.
I got an email regarding, and this is a total side note, but we can go off on a tangent. I got an email regarding the suites
Yeah.
at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and how much they're selling them for and whatever else. Because we've had some suites and whatever else, but
Right.
For the full 8 games that are being played there, for a suite, I think it comes out to $48,000 a game.
Okay.
So you're looking at, $300-400 grand. But if you're someone like Home Depot, or I don't know, pick the company, right? Pick the Fortune whatever 500 company. I mean, that's an investment. You write it off to entertainment, goes on your taxes, and then you can invite everybody there.
How many people can you take to the suite?
Oh, lots. I mean, you can fit 20, 30 people in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could buy the suite and then all your top, like let's call it a liquor store, right? You could invite all your top accounts.
Performers, yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one is the top people in the company. And then the next one is the employees of the month. And then the next one is like whatever else. So,
right.
And when you're talking about needing to look after your employees, right? I'm striving to have employee number one. But these bigger companies, you got to look after them, right? So your top performing GM, like take your top 10 or 20, send them there. That is, all of a sudden, they are not resigning for a minimum of a year.
No.
Because they've
you just bought
good.
them, yeah.
Yeah. And so what if you bought them? That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, for some of those bigger companies, I would, if we were bigger, if we were someone like High Noon or White Claw or whatever else, that sort of level, yeah, we would definitely be doing a mate suite and inviting those people for sure.
Nice. 2026 is going to be exciting. 2026 is going to be exciting in so many aspects. And one of my favorite part of it is the World Cup.
Yeah. Look,
I feel like that's a bucket list. You gotta do something with it, especially for people like us from outside.
Right.
It's such a important thing in a lifetime to at least go to 1 or 2 World Cup.
Yeah, I'm hoping Australia's there. If Australia gets to play, I will definitely. I don't even want to know what the tickets are going to be.
You will make it happen.
But I'll make it happen.
Love it. So, all right, sounds good. We got one more thing for you.
Shoot.
And then that would be it for today. So.
Well, I'll still get a question to ask you. I mean, we got to do this.
Oh,
we've got to do this back
love
and
it.
Forth.
So if you die and there's nothing from you left in social media or anywhere, and you have only one video left for you.
Oh, God.
That you want to talk to the people, what would that be?
What, you want me to provide the video?
Yeah, and just right now.
Sure.
That one.
So there's nothing left, and this is what I want people to remember.
Yeah.
Gosh, you could go so many different ways.
Feels like
you go so many different ways.
Podcast here.
I feel like I needed an email for this podcast before I got here. What would I want people to know? I mean, it's sort of probably a collection of stuff we've already said throughout the podcast. What would I want people to know? I think at the base level, I would say I'm going to put it down to 5 things, right? These are the 5 things I think everybody should remember and know. And it's not just about me, it's about other people too. So first and foremost, we're all human. Okay, we've all got 10 fingers and 10 toes and 2 eyes and whatever else. Doesn't matter about the color of your skin, the size of your nose, whether you got hair on your head or not. We're all human. So let's let's remember that we're all human, right? Let's be nice to each other. Chase those dreams, for sure. Chase them. Go after them as hard and as fast as you can. You're not going to be perfect every day, but chase them every day. Call somebody or message somebody in your family every day. I texted my sister the other day. I texted her, she didn't reply. I texted her again and wrote, "Hey, donkey." I still love her. It doesn't change the fact that I wanted a response and I got one. So call your mum or dad if you've got them in your life. Call your grandparents if you got them in your life. Call your brother and sister if you got them in your life. Call the people or message the people that aren't related to you, but you call them brothers or sisters. And tell them how much you love them. Be good to animals. And leave the world a better place than where you found it. They would be my 5 blanket things that I think everyone should do.
Love it.
So,
I love it.
Now, my question. I get a good question.
Yeah, for sure. Before that, today was actually a best friend day.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that today?
Today is the best friend.
And we're doing a podcast on it. I love it. That's awesome. So, you've asked the questions. I get my question. For those that don't know whether they follow you or not, they're just finding this podcast for the first time. You went to Europe for 3.5 weeks, thereabouts. Went for work, then you stayed on for your own time. Mm-hmm. You got to spend a bunch of time in Spain and all over France, and you went to the UK and London specifically. So my question, having lived there, having been there, know the culture, know everything about it, what was your favorite view that you saw? Because obviously you saw some pretty amazing stuff. Favorite meal? And then lastly, what was the best thing that you drank? What was your favorite? And it can be wine, cocktail. It can be
sure.
You split the G with some dude in a pub and you had a Guinness and whatever else. What was your favorite view, your favorite drink, and your favorite meal?
Got it. Well, it is. Well, first, it is very hard to pick between all of those because there are so many good views that are like magical, and I don't know if I'm going to see it again. There were so many good foods and there were so many good drinks. But if I want to pick the most that affected on me and like it remains with me, there are a couple of the views that I love the most. One is the view of the vineyard of Chateau Lafite.
Okay. Yeah.
Phenomenal. It's basically located in Pauillac in Bordeaux, and
iconic vineyard. Iconic.
Gorgeous place. Loved it. And best wine, or the best drink that I had, it would be a wine.
Sure.
And that was a 2005 Chateau Lafite.
There's a theme going on here.
Yes. The reason for that, I mean, come on. It's not about the wine itself. It was about the company that I had and then also the memory that wine made for me. So we were one of the fortunate people that we had the opportunity to sit down and drink with Mr. Rothschild himself.
Okay.
And his daughter.
Sure.
And it was incredible. It was a 2005. The taste was amazing. But then he was reviewing the wine for us. And in his view, it was a little bit young.
Sure. Okay.
And then you're talking to a guy that is pretty much drinking 1980s on a Tuesday night. So that was incredible for me. Sitting right next to him actually and hearing from him and seeing like what he's done throughout the years. His daughter was a journalist and he called her up a few years ago and said, okay, it's your turn now. I'm tapping out. You got to take over. You need to come back to France. And then he took her back and now she's running the entire like operation. So she was in my left side. He was right in front of me on the same table and then enjoying the meal. and sharing a glass of wine of 2005
Sure.
Lafitte. That was my favorite.
I mean, that's the classic case of hospitality, right? It's
Yes.
never just the one thing. It's the entire experience. You got the wine, you got the food, you got the company, you got the ambiance, you got the everything.
Absolutely. And if I want to go with meal, I had a great meal in the place. It was a kind of like a tower or hotel named Shard
Sure.
in
Yeah,
London.
yeah. The Shard, yeah.
I had a good meal over there. I mean, the meal was just a steak, but the experience was really good. Looking at the whole entire city from up there, and basically enjoying the meal with a good company.
Sure.
That was a really good one too.
Did you experience a Sunday roast, right? The UK, London,
Yes.
English people, very well renowned for a solid Sunday roast.
Yes. Yes. I one thing I liked about it, people pay attention to this type of thing so much, and they value this stuff so much that maybe we should do more of those here in US.
You think a good Sunday roast would solve a lot of problems, you reckon? Some Yorkshire puddings and gravy and
I mean, gravy.
yeah, I love good gravy. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do a Sunday roast next week. Be
There you go.
great. We should do actually, you know what we should do? The next podcast, we will do it in your kitchen.
Oh, okay.
And we'll make a roast, do a podcast, or we can just skip that hard part and we'll just eat and podcast at the same time.
I like that.
Do a strong Sunday roast over a podcast.
I like that.
I feel like
I just renovated the whole kitchen, so
there you go.
it's ready for it.
It's perfect for a Sunday roast. There you go.
Yes.
Awesome. That's good. I mean, yeah, I think everybody should travel, experience.
I think so too.
All of those things, and it gives you an appreciation for just life.
Yeah, exactly. If you are young, and even if you're not young, if you're still living and breathing, go travel.
Right.
That's the one thing that you invest, and people don't see the value in it. But to me, it's the most valuable investment you did.
Yeah.
Because you just invested in yourself, about what you saw, you captured right here, and what you experienced is priceless.
Can't be taken away from you either.
It's priceless.
One of those things. It's with you forever.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Mate, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming over here and cheersing a mate with me. Thanks.
Finish that one.